8:55 Lifetime Cowboy. The best stuff happens during the break. Mr.
Sorry.
Robert Jones joining us. That was fantastic. Wow. Took us into the locker room, and we're going to ask him to do that right now. Let's go ahead and let's get a preview of this Dallas Cowboys-Minnesota game. That's where we'll all be, I'm sure, sitting by our TV for you Cowboys fans and you Cowboy haters. You watch the Cowboys because they're America's team. I'll say this, Dallas at Minnesota, both defenses are going to play great. But much like Robert Jones said about the Arizona and New Orleans game about which defense can make a stop, I think in this game, I think it's going to be which offense can make a play because both of these defenses coming in highly ranked statistically. They play well. They got great players all over the board. These are these two teams have the most Pro Bowlers of any other teams in the NFL. You're looking at some of the best talent the NFL has to offer. And I think the Dallas Cowboys, at the end of the day, I think it's Tony Romo's time. I think it's Tony Romo's time. I picked Minnesota to go to the Super Bowl. But I think it's Tony Romo's time. I think he outplays his idol in Minnesota.
Not if they don't stop Adrian Peterson.
I think he outplays him. What did you say?
Not if they don't stop Adrian Peterson.
That could be a good point, but
they got to stop him.
I'm going Tony Romo, the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, look, man, Adrian Peterson's been quiet for, I want Cowboys to win.
Of course, I know you do.
I want the Cowboys to win.
I understand.
But I'm scared because Adrian Peterson has been quiet for the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, he has.
He's been quiet.
Yeah, he has. And
and just like I said before, in the playoffs, they bring out everything they got, and they'll find ways of getting the ball in Adrian Peterson's hand.
They're going to throw it to him.
They'll throw it to him.
They'll throw it to him and Chester Taylor.
And once you start throwing it to him, then you get a defense mentality to think, man, I got to cover this dude. I got to cover this dude. The next thing you know, they hand it off to him.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to throw a lot. A lot. Now, we keep saying Romo grew up idolizing Brett Favre. Adrian Peterson grew up a Cowboys fan. So that works both ways. He's looking forward to this one.
But he's not going up against Emmitt Smith. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. I think when you play your idol, the guy you watched, your gunslinger, the one that you tried to be in the backyard, I just think that's a little bit different.
The guy making his 23rd start in the playoffs.
Yes, seriously.
It's going to be interesting, man.
Did you ever play against Brett Favre? Not to cut you off in the playoffs? Because I know.
Yeah.
How many times you beat him?
93, 4, 5. I mean.
I beat him every time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he hadn't beat the Cowboys.
Every time or time.
Good. Did he have good games?
Brett had great games. It was shootouts.
Yeah.
It was shootouts. I mean, I don't know the exact score, but I think one time in the playoffs we played them in Dallas at Texas Stadium. It was like, what,
like
38, 31, something like that.
Mm.
It was shootouts, man. I mean, Brett has always had good games in the playoffs, and it came down to what defense could stop.
Who are you predicting to win, Vikings or Cowboys?
I'm going to go with my Cowboys.
You're predicting the Cowboys to win.
I'm predicting the Cowboys. They're on the road. They're playing real well, but it can be a long day, man, if they don't stop Adrian Peterson. I would force Brett Favre to be the guy that beats me. I would put 8 in the box, make sure Adrian Peterson don't go anywhere. I do think our DBs are good enough to go man-to-man.
Ahmad, you've got the Ravens, the Chargers, the Saints.
Yep.
And who?
The Cowboys, man.
Okay. I got the Ravens, Jets, Saints, Vikings.
You going Minnesota.
I'm trying to be right. I'm not trying to root. I'm trying to be right.
He's that Super Bowl ring print look real good.
No, you know what? You know what? He's a Prince fan. That's what he is. He's a Prince fan.
He stole one of my songs.
Purple Rain.
Well, I wasn't that one, but it's all right.
Robert, man, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, man.
Very much so. Indeed. It's always a pleasure to have you in here. We're out of time. Dan Patrick is next. Now we gotta have you back in. Maybe we'll do a Super Bowl show or something like that. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, man, we can do. We got to work on a whole lot, man.
Okay.
All right, work on a whole lot.
Sounds good. Stay tuned because the Dan Patrick show is coming up next. Don't forget Cowboys Vikings Sunday starting at 11. For Ahmad Brooks, John Daniele Price.
Laugh is free.
Longhorn Station AM 1300 The Zone.